Caribbean Newsline is brought to you by the Barbados Tourism Marketing, Inc.
Harvard University seeking to make amends for its ties to slavery with a cooperation agreement with Antigua and Barbuda. Our top story in Caribbean Newsline for Wednesday, December 11th. From the CMC News Center in Bridgetown, I'm Ricardo Roberts. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Harvard University and Antigua and Barbuda have agreed on a program of cooperation in acknowledgement of the university's relationship with slavery. Prime Minister Gaston Brown says the university's president, Dr. Lawrence Barkow, responded to his advocacy for cooperation with the Five Islands campus of the University of the West Indies. He said in a statement that Barkow has indicated Harvard's willingness to work out arrangements that would benefit the campus. And he said this is in acknowledgement of Harvard's university's historical relationship with slavery, particularly confronting past injustices and their legacies. The government of the Twin Island nation noted that Harvard Law School was founded on an endowment back in 1815 that was funded from slavery on the Royals plantation on Antigua. Preliminary discussions to establish a framework for the cooperation will be held in January after the Harvard's Christmas break. Some churches in the Bahamas are being accused of harboring illegal immigrants. Director of Immigration Clarence Russell says his department has credible information that these places of worship and other shelters are being used as safe havens for undocumented migrants. And he warned in an interview with Eyewitness News that when authorities move in to detain those who don't have a right to be in the country, anyone found harboring them will face the consequences. And staying in the Bahamas, Health Minister Dr. Dorian says that weeks after the passage of Hurricane Dorian, the bodies of dozens of people who died remain unclaimed. More than 60 people were confirmed dead when the Category 5 hurricane slammed Abaco and the Grand Bahama at the beginning of September. Now, Minister Sands said 55 bodies or remains were recovered in Abaco, and there were 6 deaths recorded in Grand Bahama. Now, all the bodies found in Grand Bahama have been released to the victims' families, but only the remains of 4 people from Abaco have been claimed. And of course, the health minister acknowledged that some migrants may not be coming forward to claim the remains of loved ones due to their status in the Bahamas. Minister Sands added that the government is still in the process of identifying a burial site for unclaimed victims. Jamaica's House of Representatives on Tuesday night approved resolutions extending the life of 3 current states of emergencies, that's the SOEs, and the 2 zones of special operations, or ZOSOs, for 1 month. The SOEs affected are the St. Andrew South Police Division, the tri-parish coverage of Hanover, St. James and Westmoreland, and the bi-parish coverage of Clarendon and St. Catherine. Now, the government opened debates last week expecting opposition support for the 2 ZOSOs, Denham Town in Kingston and Mount Salem in St. James, to be extended by another 60 days and the SOEs by another 90 days. but the opposition said Tuesday it would only agree to 30-day extensions. It also means they will come to an end on February 18th, 2020. Let's go to that story. Okay, we'll come back to that story in the... Let's go to another story now. Police in Grenada are reporting a decrease in overall crimes in 2019, but lawmen say they have seen an increase in the use of offensive weapons. And of course, we get the details in this report from GBN News. Okay, we seem not to have that story now. Coming up in Caribbean Newsline, St. Vincent and the Grenadines Prime Minister on a mission to prevent Luis Almagro from becoming OAS head again. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Are you looking to skip the travel rush and get a holiday deal this Christmas? Liat has got you covered. Book our special promotional fare for travel on December 24th to 26th and December 31st to January 1st, 2020. Call our reservations team or your local travel agent or book now on liat.com. Book our promotional fare. No promo code required. Terms and conditions apply. Liat, it's the way we connect.
As a small business owner, you have to make sure your technology is available and operational at all times. But what happens when your network crashes, your email goes down, or your user systems get a virus? You may try to fix the issue yourself, but you can end up making the problem a lot worse. At Digital Networking Solutions, we're more than just people who try to fix your computers. We monitor, maintain, and support your IT systems so that you can focus on growing your business to its fullest potential. When you sign up for one of our IT support plans, we get familiar with your IT environments beforehand, so we can manage it proactively as if it were our own. Your business deserves the best IT services available to ensure it functions to its maximum efficiency. So give us a try today. Email or call us, and we will give you a free network assessment to determine whether now is the time for your small business to adopt Digital Networking Solutions for a smoother, more reliable network experience.
Welcome back. St. Vincent and the Grenadines Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves is leading a campaign against the re-election of Luis Almagro as the Secretary General of the Organization of American States, the OAS. The Vincentian leader said he has already written to the CARICOM leaders on his request, and he disclosed that he is suggesting another candidate for the position. Gonsalves said while he does not know whether he will succeed, he does not like what Almagro has done to the OAS, and he would not just sit back and watch. He accused the Secretary General of seeking to implement a neoliberal agenda. Now, Almagro has been the subject of much criticism from within CARICOM since February this year, when he posted a tweet implying that the general elections in Dominica, which were held last Friday, might not be free and fair. Then in November, days before the Dominica polls, Almagro tweeted that the people of Dominica deserve democratic, fair, inclusive and transparent elections, and that democracy is the best antidote against violence. Now, those comments came just hours after unrest broke out in the capital, Roseau, following the opposition party's call for election reform to take place before the elections. Now, Gonsalves saw Almagro's comments as attempts to interfere in another country's democratic process, and he is adamant that Almagro should not remain as OAS head. As residents of Trinidad and Tobago flock to commercial banks to change their old $100 bills to the new polymer notes by the end of the year, The business community is calling on government to reconsider the December 31st deadline. TTT's Crystal Wilson has more on that call.
Member of Industry and Commerce, Gabriel Faria, is calling on government to consider a 90-day transition period as opposed to a December 31st deadline for converting to the use of the new $100 polymer bill. The call comes on the heels of chaotic scenes at banks throughout the country on Tuesday as hundreds lined up hopeful of securing the new polymer note. Acknowledging government's position of the need to switch from old to new due to national security concerns, the Chamber CEO says a longer transition period will allow for businesses to run smoothly and will have little effect on the national population.
The commercial banks have a very strong governance and compliance mechanisms. So if anything unusual were to happen during that period of time, those transactions can be conveyed to the Minister of National Security, Minister of Finance, or the central bank. So a normal business that will do transactions at a certain level, those transactions, anything above that can be recorded. So
Mr. Faria noted with concern what took place at some of the banks on Tuesday and said if the new polymer notes aren't readily available, there was still a way to work around securing your personal finances.
What many of them have done is they have gone out and taken $50 notes or $20 notes instead, if they are not able to get $100 notes.
Mr. Faria said meanwhile business would most likely continue to be affected if government doesn't step in to address the matter. He said the entire approach and timing are bad for business.
It's unfortunate that at a time like this, when consumers should be focusing on shopping and when businesses should be focusing on driving commercial activity, we are distracted in dealing with a matter like this, which I know some of my members are saying that this is really distracting them from focusing on driving commercial activity at this time of the year.
TTT News also understands that some businesses have already started refusing what's being referred to as the old $100 bill, while others have set deadlines for accepting it as payment. The Chamber CEO reminded members of the business community that the regular $100 bill is still legal tender until December 31st, 2019.
In other business developments, the takeover of Sagicor Financial Corporation Limited by Align Vest Acquisition 2 Corporation has been finalized. The move will result in the delisting of Sagicor shares from the Stock Exchange of Barbados, Trinidad and Tobago and London. They are now listed on the Toronto Stock Exchange. Now, under the deal, Sagicor's registered office will remain in Bermuda and the head office in Bahamas. In Barbados, rather, we apologize. And of course, we want to go back to an earlier story. Some churches in the Bahamas are being accused of harboring illegal immigrants. Director of Immigration Clarence Russell says his department has credible information that these places of worship and other shelters are being used as safe havens for undocumented migrants. And Health Minister Dr. Dorian says that weeks after the passage of Hurricane Dorian, the bodies of dozens of people who died remain unclaimed. More than 60 people were confirmed dead when the Category 5 hurricane slammed Abaco and Grand Bahama at the beginning of September. Now, Minister Sands says 55 bodies or remains were recovered in Abaco and there were 6 deaths recorded in Grand Bahama. All the bodies found in Grand Bahama have been released to the victims' families, but only the remains of 4 people from Abaco have been claimed.
Dwayne Sands confirming today that 50 unclaimed bodies retrieved in Abaco remain in an air-conditioned trailer in Marsh Harbor nearly 3 months after the passage of Hurricane Dorian. Speaking with reporters outside of Cabinet today, Dr. Sands said 4 bodies in Abaco and 10 bodies in Grand Bahama have been identified and released to family.
So in Abaco, there remains in the trailer in Abaco a significant number of bodies, I believe, probably about 50. I would have to be looking at my notes to get it exactly right. DNA samples have been taken, and the expected time from DNA sampling until comparison and conclusion could be as long as 6 to 9 months. That is the international standard or timeline, unless you use rapid DNA techniques. So yes, there are still a number of remains in Abaco. 4 persons have been released to their families. All of the others remain yet to be identified, yet to be released.
Dr. Sands said the government is in the process of identifying a burial site for the unclaimed victims. While he urged families to come forward and claim their loved ones, he said there has been a major hurdle.
Bear in mind.
And you're watching Caribbean Newsline. Ahead in sport, India beat West Indies by 67 runs in the 3rd T20 International to clinch the series. Stay with us. Sport is next.
Are you looking to skip the travel rush and get a holiday deal this Christmas? Liat has got you covered. Book our special promotional fare for travel on December 24th to 26th and December 31st to January 1st, 2020. Call our reservations team or your local travel agent or book now on liat.com. Book our promotional fare. No promo code required. Terms and conditions apply. Liat, it's the way we connect.
A half-century by Captain Karen Pollard was not enough for the West Indies to clinch the T20 International Series against India as they went down by 67 runs in Mumbai on Wednesday. Now, India set a modest total of 240 for 3 when they were sent in at the Wankhede Stadium. India's big hitters KL Rahul smashed a top-scoring 91 from 56 deliveries. Captain Virat Kohli, who continued his onslaught, knocking 70 from 29 balls, and opening batsman Rohit Sharma made a well-played 71. Right-arm pacers Sheldon Cottrell and Kesrick Williams, along with Pollard, picked up 1 wicket each.
And he doesn't. Kohli conquers him. Beautiful. 6 of them. That's in the gap as well.
Oh, down the ground for 4, cross-batted. Now very high and very long too. Points to the batsman. Cannot stop the carnage. They keep batting like this. They'll get those. What a shot. Bottom hand again. 50 of 21 balls. Virat Kohli. 4. There goes Virat Kohli again. Won't get it. This continues to be an absolutely outstanding over from Sheldon Cottrell. Hang on, KL Rahul's asking for height.
Yeah, it's a fair delivery. It's a fair delivery.
2 things about that. For a start, it wasn't over shoulder high. But we've seen episodes like this in the game before where the bowler can then turn round and say, you did not call the first one as over shoulder high. We've seen that before in T20 cricket. The umpire has to call one for the over. Kohli goes for the shot. He's got to finish it in style. He is with a 6-2, 40 comes out. It was such a good over up to that point. It's still a very good one with 9 coming up the end. But is there something Virat Kohli cannot do on a cricket ground? 70 of 29. What an exhibition of batsmanship we've seen today at the Wankhede Stadium.
And Pollard returned with the bat, knocking 68 of 38 deliveries, which included 6 sixes and 5 fours to take West Indies out from their batting slump. They were at one point at 91 for 4 to 141 for 6. Now, Shimron Hetmeyer was the other only batsman to produce a significant total with his knock of 41 as the Indian Pacers ripped apart the Windies innings.
It's gone up and he's mistimed it, but it will still comfortably sail into the crowd. Now this has to be the best shot that is played tonight. Is that a 6? Now is that a 6 off the back foot? Almost. Brings up the 50 for Pollard. Easy. Easy does it. It goes straight. Rohit Sharma will go for it and watch it go past. This is mistimed. Fielder coming under. It's the best one on the field. It's Jadeja. Takes a comfortable catch. And Bhuvneshwar Kumar has got rid of Pollard, the biggest threat. And the man who kept all these Mumbai fans from celebrating too early. Well played, Pollard. Might just find the gap here. Yes.
Yes, he's trying to play the ball over fine leg. It's often a dangerous shot, high return, high risk. This time it is the risk that won. Brutal like this. Oh, he took the catch.
Well done, really well done. Smart from Kesrick Williams.
And another one goes. He's got to have some part to play in the game at all times. Ravindra Jadeja takes the catch. India win this series 2-1. It was a very good run chase in Hyderabad. West Indies matched that run chase at Thiruvananthapuram, and India's top order just blew the West Indies away over here.
Over in Antigua, left-hander Sonal Dinusha displayed nerves of steel to deny a strong West Indies under-19 comeback as Sri Lanka dealt the hosts their second straight loss of the under-19 Tri-Nations series on Tuesday. In a nerve-jangling end to a dramatic runs chase, Dinusha swept a full-length delivery from off-spinner Matthew Patrick to find leg for a single to lift his side past their target of 138 of their first ball of the 41st over at the Vivian Richards Cricket Stadium. Now, West Indies had only themselves to blame after they were held to 137 for 9 of their 50 overs in an unflattering batting effort. Now, sent in, they crumbled to 67 for 7 in the 34th over and needed middle-order batsman Kevlon Anderson's top score of 43 to rescue some pride. Now, Dinusha anchored an invaluable unbroken 37-run last wicket stand with Amshi De Silva, which frustrated the host. Now, he had earlier also featured in a 31-run 7-wickets partnership with captain Naipun Dhananjaya, who struck 31 of 45 deliveries with 3 fours. Left-arm seamer Raymond Simmons led the West Indies fight back with 3 for 31, while Pacers Jaden Seals and Naeem Young finished with 2 wickets apiece. And Bermuda batsman Deontay Darrell's involvement at the Cricket World Cup Challenge League B in Oman was abruptly ended after he was suspended for 2 matches by the world governing body for swearing. The 27-year-old, who was already sailing close to the wind after receiving a 1-match ban last month at the ICC T20 World Cup qualifier in Dubai, admitted to using an audible obscenity on Sunday after giving his wicket away in the abandoned match against Kenya. On-field umpires Vinud Babu and Tabarak Dar and third umpire Anantha Rajmani leveled the charges after Darrell reacted badly to a run-out that was his own making when he called Justin Pitcher for a single that was never on. The ICC says Darrell was found to have violated Article 2.3 of the code, which relates to use of an audible obscenity during an international match. He did not play in Wednesday's match against Jersey and will miss Thursday's clash with Italy. And finally, seven-time champion jockey Patrick Husbands may have ridden his last race of this year's Woodbine campaign. Now, he announced Sunday that he may undergo surgery this week. Now, the 46-year-old sustained a broken pelvis in a fall last year in November when he was unseated by 3-year-old filly Islay Inlet in the parade ring and was forced to undergo 2 surgeries. While he made a successful return to racing this season, Husband said he had been suffering severe pain recently and would be meeting with doctors to address the problem, which could require another surgery in the coming days. The Barbadian lies in the 5th in the Jockeys Championships on 80 wins. He leads all riders with 26 wins, taking the feature $125,000 Canadian Ontario Lassie aboard Curlin's Voyage on last Sunday's card. And that's the sports. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Caribbean Newsline is brought to you by the Barbados Tourism Marketing Inc.
We keeping it real. We don't need no filters. We do whatever we feel, yeah. Shout out to my hood, but we don't hustle for the money and the food, oh. Yeah, no one ever have. Don't say this.
Are you looking to skip the travel rush and get a holiday deal this Christmas? Liat has got you covered. Book our special promotional fare for travel on December 24th to 26th and December 31st to January 1st, 2020. Call our reservations team or your local travel agent or book now on liat.com. Book our promotional fare. No promo code required. Terms and conditions apply. Liat, it's the way we connect.
Again, the major developments of this day: Harvard University seeking to make amends for its ties to slavery with a cooperation agreement with Antigua and the Barbuda government. And in sport, West Indies, that's India rather, beat West Indies by 67 runs in the third T20 International to clinch the series. That's Caribbean Newsline. For news on sports, round the clock, subscribe to CaribVision.com. For more of our programming, log on to CaribVision.tv and check out our YouTube channel. We'll be back here again tomorrow. But from all of us at CMC News, thank you for watching. Have yourselves a good night.